Thanks for joining us for a new edition of Tiger Timeout on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as the Tigers and Lady Tigers have entered the stretch run of the 2023-24 season, joined by the head coach of Lady Tiger basketball, Ginger High-Colvin. Campbellsville gets a couple of wins last weekend. The Lady Tigers knock off Cumberland's at home in the Powell Center. Coach, a top 15 team, no easier on Saturday, a receiving votes Lindsey Wilson team. We talked about it last week. That's life in the Mid-South, but it also prepares you like no other to get these games at this stage of the season.
It is so good for you, and we talk to a lot of the teams in the other conferences. They may play a tough non-conference schedule, but then when they get into their conference, they get a lot of easy games. When we get in our conference, we get 0 easy games, and I think that's what helps our conference be so successful when we do get to tournament play, because you just can't, you don't have room to breathe. You have to be ready for every single team that you play.
You look at the schedule and you see Cumberland's coming to Campbellsville, top 15. It's a team that's had big wins this season. It's a team that's battle tested, and they come here and look, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it this way, but you guys made it look easy. That's not the way that anybody expected that game to go, and you could play it 10 times, and that may be the only time that you get a 30-point margin or close to it. But, man, your girls were really good on Thursday evening.
When you shoot the ball well, everything looks good. And I feel like our kids are doing some of the things that we wanted to do better. We're rebounding the ball better. We're taking care of it a little bit more. And then defensively, we're honed in and doing a decent job. And Cumberland's got a lot of tough guards for us, a lot of different ones that when they come in, we have to pay real close attention to them. And I just feel like we hit shots, and I know we hit shots, but overall, I feel like we played really, really well.
And your calling card has been, over the years, the defense and what you're able to do to teams. And Cumberland's is a team that averages, 85 points a game or so. So to hold them down into that, 65, 68 range is pretty impressive. Obviously, when you're hitting shots, that allows that final score to look a lot more impressive than it was. And I know at one point, I think they had the scores flip-flopped, so that was like causing quite a stir across the nation. It looked for a while that Cumberland's had won, but man, the defense and what it was able to do to a really good offensive team, that's the thing that when you go to that national tournament setting, you feel really good about.
And I feel like the teams in our league prepare us for that, because all the teams are really good, but they're really different. So, you have Freed, who hangs their hat on defense, and then you have Cumberland's Georgetown, who can just flat get up and down the floor. Bethel's a mixture of both. And then Lindsey Wilson, I think, has just got some blue-collar kids that come in and play extremely hard. So you've got a lot of different looks from all the teams in our league. Cumberland U, the last ranked team in our league, has played a lot of teams really close. So yeah, it's a good mixture. It's good for us. I hated it at the time, but again, I feel like it's very, very good for us in the long run. And
then the Lady Tigers went on the road Saturday and knocked off Lindsey Wilson College. As we take a look at some of the numbers for Campbellsville's win there in the bigger sports center, 73-46. Maddie Boyle had 16 and 3. Caitlin Wilkes with 9 points and 4 rebounds. Lauren Lee 8.6 boards. I think Kayla Luby was in double figures or right at it. Coach Sarah Sutton hit I think a trio of threes in the win, and I know we'll start with Sutton. She's one that you're really trying to get to come back around here on the last leg of her college career, and it's been a struggle at times for her. But you just can't help but to feel great about it when she gets the run and she goes out and knocks down some big shots. She still got it.
She does have it. And, when she turns one loose, you're leaning, wanting that to go in. She's putting in tons of extra work. She's done an outstanding job this year. Even though she's not played, her attitude's been outstanding. And she's working her way back in there. And when you can come in and hit shots like Sarah comes in and hits shots, you're crazy valuable. And I just want to keep working her in there. We've got 2 more this weekend, 3 more regular season. So, just want to keep working her in and getting her those minutes that we can get her. And we've got a lot of kids on the team. Sometimes it's just really hard. But situational-wise, I think she's a great tool to have.
You get 16 from Maddie Boyle, Coach, and we know her ability to defend and what she can do and create problems for other teams. We know she can shoot the basketball, but I felt like Saturday she was in the middle a little bit. She was willing to take that mid-range jumper. She obviously can shoot it, knock down a couple. Right now at all 3 levels, she's hard to defend.
She really is, and we're obviously adding to our set just a few things to free Maddie up and get her some good looks. She's confident. She's playing extremely well, and she's put the work in. So when you put that work in, your confidence level is higher. And defensively, she does so much. And the thing about Maddie is she can really shoot it, she can really score it, she can really pass it. She can make some of the greatest passes and plays out of pick and rolls or just in broken plays that we have on the floor. So she's multidimensional, and we're thrilled to have her and thrilled to see her playing as well as she is.
One thing about it is she kind of closes in on the 1,000 points for her college career. And hey, if you're a Lady Tiger fan like me, you're hoping for another 12 games or so, and she's going to be knocking on the door of 1,000 for the Lady Tigers all by themselves. But she's someone, growing up, she always had the ball in her hand. So I think it has maybe taken her a little while to really understand the two-guard role and to play off the ball a little more. And I'm not sure there's many people that do it any better right now.
Yeah, if you pick 2 guards in the country, she's mine. She's my number 1 pick, and she's just, like we say, she's clicking on all cylinders right now, and she's fun to watch. And she, what was it, Die Hard, the movie that I think you could hear that they were frustrated and they didn't know who had frustrated them.
Yeah.
That's Maddie. Maddie can go out and frustrate you in so many ways.
She can frustrate you also.
No, we have a great back and forth relationship, but she just never stops. She never ever stops. She's getting after it offensively and defensively, and I'm glad she's on our side.
She's got some Energizer Bunny qualities
about
her.
Yes, exactly.
To say the least. We'll step away here. The Lady Tigers have a big week coming up in Mid-South Conference play. They go on the road Thursday against Bethel, Saturday at Freed Hardeman. We'll talk about those matchups coming up here with the head coach. Stay with us on Tiger Timeout.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we take a look at the week ahead for Campbellsville's Lady Tigers. The third-ranked team in the country travels to McKenzie, Tennessee on Thursday. Saturday, they'll head to Henderson as Coach Ginger High-Colvin joins me. Campbellsville's scenarios for the Mid-South Conference regular season have started to become really clear. In fact, they're so clear that a win will net them a regular season championship and the number 1 seed in the Mid-South Conference tournament. Coach, you can do that on Thursday against Bethel, and I think it's the earlier you can kind of get that over with, maybe the better, and just move on past that, focus on some other things, but certainly won't be an easy task against the Wildcats.
No, it won't, and everybody's like, well, you got 3 to get 1, and then let's just say we don't get it Thursday, then you only have 2, then it starts getting a little tighter. So we absolutely want to go down and take them 1 game at a time, but it would be nice to go ahead and have that one just knocked out of the way and one step behind us. We wanted to win the conference, and I've always said I think winning the regular season is a lot tougher than winning the tournament. You can get hot, win the tournament, but the regular season is a grind, and it's the combination of injuries and combination of a lot of different things, the travel. So the fact that we can go and close it out potentially on Thursday says a lot about our kids, and hopefully we can do it.
Let's take a look at the numbers from the upcoming matchup with the Bethel Wildcats against Campbellsville. 22-1 on the season. They're 9-0 in Mid-South Conference play. Still one of the nation's top scoring teams. In fact, second in the country in points per game, and second in field goal percentage. Bethel at 13-11 on the year, 66 points a game. 6:30 the start time, Eastern time at Crisp Arena in McKenzie, Tennessee. And Coach, it's a Bethel team, and obviously you and Chris Nelson are great friends. They have been bit by the injury bug with Callan Howard, and when you lose that point guard, it can make life really difficult. And they've tried and tried and tried to figure all this thing out. But without an off season or a preseason to prepare, it's hard to do that on the fly.
Yeah, you can make it work with a lot of other players, but when your point guard goes down, a lot of things change. And and she is she's just their tool. She takes care of the ball for them offensively. She's a great defender. And Chris has fought all year. They're still playing incredibly well without her. They had Cumberland's. Cumberland's had to hit a 3 at the end. They've played Georgetown very, very close. So it's not a team that we go in and think, you look at their record, they're not going to lay down. They're going to give us everything that they have, and they're tough to play at their place. So it's a game we have to invest 100% of what we've got right now.
And they have one of the league's most, terrific young players in Madison Hart. She's one of my favorite players to watch around the league.
Yep.
She can do it all. She's really terrific.
Yeah, and she's got a sister that I think is really talented that Chris has got his claws in already. So the Hart sisters. But yeah, I think she's one of the best in the league. Super smooth, very quiet, just goes on about her business. She's a really tough guard. And then he's got some bigs inside that can create some issues as well. So if they stand out and hit some shots, they get your attention really quick.
And then Freed Hardeman, they are fighting in that 4-5 matchup, trying to climb back up. They, with their losses last weekend, can't win the regular season championship. Of course, they're a team that understands getting hot and going to Bowling Green and winning the conference tournament. So no stranger to that. Coach Josh Epperson's club awaits on Saturday, another top 25 matchup, and they've got some really good players perimeter-wise. You talk about Rachel Satterley and KJ White, and Kaylee Odom didn't play in the first meeting.
Right.
Expect to see her on Saturday. That'll be a fun one in Henderson.
It will be. It'll be a tough one, that's for sure. They defend well. They're very physical. When they stand out and hit shots, again, they're very, very hard to guard. And then we're coming off of that Thursday Bethel game. So it's a tough one. There's no doubt about it. And they're just solid. They've played great defense all season long. And, you don't want to overlook Bethel to get to Freed, but we're definitely looking at Bethel and Freed this week, and we know we've got our hands full.
One thing about it, the travel partner situation, Freed will go on the road on Thursday, as weird as that is. They'll go to Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee, and then have to come back. You're actually going to kind of be a little better rooted in that area, even more so than they will be.
Yeah, it's really odd. I know when Freed came to the Georgetown University of Cumberland's, Bethel did not. So it's been really weird the way it worked out. Scheduling I know is not an easy thing, but for them and that part of their schedule is not easy. When you're traveling that far, you really need to try to bump those 2 games in.
And it's a big advantage in this league if you don't have a game on Thursday and you get to, I don't want to say pick the bones, but a rested team on Saturday versus one that had a tough matchup on Thursday. It certainly can make a difference. Let's take a look ahead at the Lady Tigers schedule here. Campbellsville, really quite a gauntlet to end the season when you talk about top 15 Cumberland's receiving votes, Lindsey Wilson. Bethel has been receiving votes throughout the year up until recently. Freed Hardeman's in the top 25. Georgetown has been inside the top 10. College of the Ozarks has been ranked in that receiving votes column for most of the year. So, Coach, I don't know who put the schedule together for you, but down the stretch, they certainly wanted to make sure this Lady Tiger team was battle-tested.
I think she's crazy. I'd love to be able to blame that one on Hootie, but I can't.
I call it ambitious, so maybe that.
No, but it's good for us. And the Ozarks game coming in, a non-conference game at the end of the season. Ozarks, a team that's been receiving votes all year, starting to play really well. They had a time during Christmas they didn't play very well, but they've got it together now, and so it'll be a good change for us because we know everybody in conference. To hop that Ozarks team in there for Saturday would be great.
One more regular season week of Tiger Timeout coming.
I know,
so we're
crazy.
coming down the stretch after these Final Four. Best of luck this weekend on the road.
Thank you.
The Lady Tigers in action Thursday night against Bethel University. That is a 6:30 tip-off in Crisp Arena. Coverage begins at 6:15. Saturday, it's a 2 o'clock tip. 1:45 coverage begins on 88.7 The Tiger. We'll step away, come back, and visit with the head coach of Tiger basketball, Brent Vernon, here on Tiger Timeout.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. Tiger Timeout continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton joined now by the head coach of Tiger basketball, Brent Vernon. Campbellsville this past weekend, a home game at the Powell Center on Thursday, on the road against Lindsey Wilson Saturday. Coach joins me. And Coach, not your week. There's not much you can say about it. I know Thursday at the Powell against Cumberland. This is a top 10 team. Yep. Comes in here clicking on all cylinders. We've seen J.J. Ramey around this league for a long time. He's playing his best basketball. Not much you can say about the game on Thursday. It just wasn't the Tigers' night.
No, it wasn't. And you got to give a lot of credit to Cumberland's playing really good basketball. Some are around 18-2 or something now, 19-2. They're first in the league. Just playing with a tons of confidence. And it was one of those nights where everything sort of went right for them, and we just didn't do much right. And we hung around for a little bit, but then once they started making some shots, and they've been doing that really well, that rim on their end just continued to get bigger and bigger, and it was really contagious. And not only J.J. Ramey, but everybody seemed to start making shots. And it was one of those that we just couldn't stop the bleeding. And like I said, you got to give a lot of credit to Cumberland's.
You want to know how well Cumberland's is playing? They actually had Freed Hardeman down on that Saturday by like 20. Yeah. Freed's another top 10 team. So that's how well the Patriots are playing. And to their credit, they got you down early, and they never gave you a chance. So we've seen this year that's kind of been, I don't want to say a calling card, but when you've gotten down, you've been able to make runs and you've been able to make inroads. That was the first time where it really felt like they gave you no chance.
None. We got down, I think it was 17 at the half and 15, I don't know, but we talked about we've been there before. We were there against Freed and made a little push. We were there against Georgetown, made a big push. We got down against Cumberland U and made a better push. So I went in, with a lot of confidence that we've got one in us. And you blink an eye and they bank 3 threes, and all of a sudden that one in us just isn't there anymore. And from there it was just trying to salvage, and you hate doing it at times, but you had to rest some bodies to get ready more for Saturday than Thursday because we're already short. And obviously it didn't work well enough, but I thought our guys did a great job preparing from Thursday to Saturday.
You started Thursday with Jay Milburn. You ended Thursday without Jay Milburn, and he would not be available on Saturday against Lindsey Wilson. And I think, the injuries have been, really, for lack of a better way to put it, just ridiculous for you this season. And what's one more on top now, right? And so here's Jay, and you really start to see how important of a component of your roster that he is without him.
Yeah, and you saw that a lot Saturday. Obviously Jay's been really good in a lot of different areas for us, but he's one of the better rim protectors in the league. Maybe not always number-wise, but attention to detail, attention to limiting offensive rebounds. He's one of the better rebounders in our league. He just really goes after it, and that's a very good trait and knack to have. But you saw it on Saturday, a lot of just one-on-one to the rim because they know we don't have that shot blocker, and we just weren't quite good enough defensively Saturday. And injuries have been something we're part of. We've had a lot of injuries over the years, but just not this many to one team of this significant nature, and it's been very hard to overcome.
So we take a look at the numbers from the matchup with Lindsey Wilson on Saturday. 103-94 the final. Jace Wallace had 24, Kobe Penny with 21, and Chandler Clements a nice performance for Campbellsville, 14 and 7. And it was a weird game, Coach. If I told you before the game that Lindsey Wilson would shoot over 60% from the floor, you might think, it's a lot worse than 9 points. You guys, if I tell you would shoot over 50% from the floor, you think you got a really good chance of winning. And you had a shot late. You needed a few more stops. To Lindsey Wilson's credit, they hit some free throws down the stretch. That's always a big piece of the puzzle in terms of trying to make that comeback from 6-8 points with a minute or so to go. And nip and tuck, you were right there. You had a nice lead early, just not enough down the stretch.
Yeah, our guys I thought played really well early, especially offensively. The whole game we were just okay at best defensively, and right now we're showing some glaring weaknesses there, and a lot of that does have to do with some personnel issues that we have. But I thought our guys battled. Had a lead, lost a lead. Got down right around 10 or 11, but I thought we did a great job of battling and staying. We didn't really panic that game, and whenever things are not maybe going as good, that's one of the things that happens at times. You try to get it back too quick and panic, but we held our composure really well for the most part. I thought a lot of guys made some good plays on the offensive end. We just didn't have enough fitness on the defensive side, and that's where we've got to shore up and get better in a really short amount of time as we get to this final run of the season.
And then to make life more difficult, Jace is playing a great offensive game. There's the snafu with the fouls. I don't care what anyone says. And, you sit Jace thinking he had 4. I had him with 4. Stats had him with 4. He had 4. Somewhere along the way, somebody else inherited one of his, and he had 3, but you were already in the process of sitting him, and you either laugh about it or you cry about it. It's almost a microcosm of your season in its entirety.
Yeah, the issues, sometimes there happens in the book. The biggest issue I had was we were told he had 4, told he had 4, and then it went back to 3, and we weren't informed that he had 3. Went back and watched the film. Keaston's on the bench with 3 and somehow picked up his 4th. And again, I know issues and mistakes happen. I think for us, the biggest issue was we were told 4 and never got told, hey, we're sorry, a mistake happened, he has 3. Even if it was a mistake, we probably wouldn't have corrected that one because we need Jace on the floor. Yeah. He was having a great game defensively and offensively. But he set for probably about 5.5, 6 minutes that we wouldn't have set him if the foul issue hadn't happened. And would have made a difference? I don't know. But it would have been nice to have him out there. And again, it's just part of it that you have to live with.
The Tigers come up short to Lindsey Wilson. They're back at it this week. They'll make the trip to McKenzie, Tennessee to take on Bethel. And then Saturday, they'll head to Freed Hardeman. Stay with us. We'll talk to the head coach about those upcoming games here on Tiger Timeout. Final segment here on Tiger Timeout this week. Matt Payton with you as we take a look at the week ahead for Campbellsville University's Tigers. Brent Vernon joins me as Campbellsville makes the trip to McKenzie, Tennessee to take on Bethel University at Crisp Arena this week. Coach, you got Bethel at home, your place a few weeks back. Now you take that long road trip to Western Tennessee, a little short-handed, but you reach in the dog days of the season, you just got to find a way, and I know that's what you guys are focused on.
Yeah, we do, and I really, when things sort of are going a little bit south, and I can't deny that it is a little bit, you worry about demeanor and everything. Our practices have been really good this week. So again, it goes back, I'm so proud of these guys because they've not thrown anything in, and it's good, and the attention to detail and listening to where our mistakes are happening to try and fix them. Are they going to get fixed? I don't know. It's something that we're working hard to get fixed, but sometimes, habits are what they are. But we're working hard, and going to Bethel is going to be a tough battle. I know they've had a long road this year as well, but they're not a bad team. They're very, very good offensive rebounding, and without Jay, it's a very worrisome thing to have. So we've got to be able to defend on the half court and rebound the basketball, and we got to take care of the ball better than we did at our place. And if we do that, I think we'll give ourselves a very good chance on Thursday.
For Bethel over the last year and a half and 3 ball games that you've played them, Carian Gadsden has really done a nice job of picking his way through. And getting buckets at the rim. He showed off a little bit of a mid-range. The deep ball is not something that he's known for, but slowing him down seems to be offensively for you guys. It's got to be a focal point, I know.
It is. One would be slowing him down and getting to the rim. Two would be offensive rebounding. We have to limit them. And three would be not letting Guthrie get going from the outside. Obviously, they have other options and players, but Gadsden has been a thorn in our side. And it's sort of an odd trait because we've guarded him well, and I think he's made some really tough shots against us. Some of the transition stuff we have to be better in. At our place, I think it was last year, he made like 4 threes, and he's only made 3 threes on the entire year this year. So, again, he doesn't shoot it great from the perimeter. It's something that if he decides to do, we're going to let him have that shot. But we've got to be able to make him inefficient and have a hard time scoring, especially getting downhill towards the rim.
Let's take a look at the numbers from this matchup with Campbellsville and Bethel coming up on Thursday. It's an 8:30 tip time in the Crisp Arena. 15-9 for the Tigers. Bethel around 12-12 on the season, and you can see a lot of the other numbers similar. Bethel, a poor free throw shooting team, so should that free throw shooting contest break out, that might bode well for Campbellsville. And Coach, a lot of water under the bridge since his time there, but Chandler Clements goes back to Crisp Arena one final time. He played 2 seasons there, was a conference player, the all-conference performer there his sophomore season. So I don't know, have you talked to Chandler? Will you talk to Chandler? Any emotions from that? Or,
no, I think Chandler always has a few emotions going into the game. He didn't leave because of bad relationships with the staff. There's actually some players on the team still there that he has friendships with. It was just something that he thought was in his best interest and best thing for his basketball career moving forward. So we may discuss a little bit, but it's a game that I promise you he wants to win. Getting that one here, and he played extremely well, was big for him, and he's playing good basketball right now offensively, so I know his confidence is high, so he's going to go in there with the same Chandler mentality as he's had, and I expect a big game from him.
Yeah, Chandler had 22 in the win over Bethel earlier this season, and you'll head down the road on Saturday. This is the one. It feels normal, but not so much this year because you've lost so many teams across the league. But this is the long weekend stretch, the only one this go around, and you'll head to Henderson on Saturday to take on Freed-Hardeman. Coach Stutz's team's a really good coach. They're going to be a team that they're going to be there down to the end.
Yes.
You know, they and Cumberland's have proven to be the cream of the crop this year in the league, and obviously going to be a difficult one at the Brewer Sports Center.
It is very good team. We and you were talking the other day, and their roster was sort of built like I was hoping to build our roster. They have great depth. They have 8 or 9 guys that they play, sometimes 10, and I think of those 10, 8 or 9 could be a starter any given night. Mm-hmm. Whenever we developed our roster, I felt like we had the same thing, and it's so fun as a coach to look at some stats to see, they have guys that are having major success playing 24, 25, 26 minutes. And that's what we anticipated and wanted to do when we built our roster. And like we have talked about, the injuries have depleted it, so those 25 and 26 turn into 33, 34. And it's proving that when you have the depth, you can get as much done in 25 and 26 as you can in 33 and 34, and you're always more fresh. So he's done a really good job of building a very good team. They play well together. They shoot the ball. They defend. So it's going to be a tough task. First half here at our place was a battle figuring it out and figuring them out. Second half, we did a really good job. So we've really got to take that second half and carry over into the game on Saturday to give ourselves a chance.
Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Matt.
The Tigers in action Thursday. It is an 8:30, a late start for Campbellsville in McKenzie, Tennessee. 8:30, it'll come right after the women's game concludes. And then on Saturday, a 4 o'clock start Eastern time for Campbellsville University. For the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, for Ginger High-Colvin as well, I'm Matt Payton. We'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.